Good afternoon. Welcome on in to another episode of From Day One. Today, with our courtesy of our good friend Ball Talk with Mike, as the video gets put into place. Did not expect it to be out of place. There we go. We will go ahead and handle today's situation with a funny thing that happened on the way to Planet Fitness.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, this is ticket 23 RO04073. The ticket was issued on the 17th of June about 10 to 10 in the evening in the area of Royal Oak near Woodward and 12 Mile Road, and you were cited for impeding traffic. You were cited for impeding instead of the reason for the traffic stop, which was driving at 10 o'clock with no lights. Are you here to accept the break, which doesn't carry points, or to reject it? Ma'am?
To reject it.
Yeah, I want to make sure that you understand that in the event the hearing discloses that you didn't impede traffic, but that you were operating without headlights, the ticket can be amended to that, and that could carry points. Do you still want to reject the impeding citation?
What would be the citation?
Well, I'm reading the same ticket that you are, and the ticket reads vehicle drove multiple miles without any lights. Ticket was issued at 10 to 10 in the evening.
Yes, but the street that it was happening, it had a lot of lights around, and
This isn't the. We haven't started the hearing yet, ma'am. Are you accepting the break of impeding or rejecting it?
so you said if the result of the court be that this has been a correct issue, it would be cited.
This is a civil matter. It's not a criminal matter. The ticket can be amended to conform to the proofs. I haven't heard the proofs. I don't know what happened. You were there. The officer was there. I wasn't. So I can't tell you what's going to happen after the hearing because I don't know what the proofs are.
Yeah, but you said that the ticket would be there would be some points on my.
I did not say
driver's license.
it would be amended to something carried points. I said the ticket possibly could be amended.
I know. It's frustrating. Don't worry. It gets worse.
I don't know. I can't tell you it's going to be amended because I have not heard the proofs.
Okay.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to have a hearing on this? Or
Yes.
do you want to explain what happened? Do you want to admit responsibility for impeding and explain what happened? Or do you want a hearing?
I want to hear it.
Okay. If you'd raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
I hear you on.
The officer will testify first, please.
Yes, Your Honor. At the date and time listed on the citation, I was driving southbound on Woodward. So was the defendant. She was driving her vehicle. I do not have the citation in front of me. I am not sure, of the vehicle, but it is on the citation. It was the correct vehicle. It was, past 10 p.m. that evening on a listed date, and the vehicle did not have its lights on. Yes, Woodward does have, lights on the road, but, when you're operating a vehicle, I do believe you still need to have your lights on. I had issues seeing the vehicle, and I was concerned that it could have caused an accident.
Thank you. Ms. Hoyatina? I'm sorry, I know I killed your name. What's the correct way to pronounce it?
No, you're good. It's Hojatinia.
Hojatinia.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now that I hear it, it's not as
Close enough for a gringo.
complicated as it looks. Okay. So it's your turn, please.
Yeah, that night, me and my sister, we were at the mall and we were going to back home to Bertroy. So Bertroy is where we live. So we were heading there. And at the time, it was a little past 9 when the mall closed and everywhere was still lit up. And that day, the sunset was 9:30, and it takes at least half an hour in order to get dark. So we were on the highways going home, but and we were in the middle of the way that we decided to go to Royal or downtown to eat dinner. And so my sister changed the direction of GPS to downtown Royal or when we were going to eat. And the GPS changed the direction to go toward Woodward. So before that, so it was still so lit up out there. And by the time that we got on Woodward, the lights from the street and from the other cars, they were all around, and I couldn't feel at all the change in the...
Blinded by the lights. The lighting was so darn good, I didn't notice the sun had gone down.
So it was not dark at all to understand that something is different from a few minutes ago. And another thing regarding my vehicle was that it is an auto charging the light. And I don't understand how that happened, but because of it being on that, and it's been like more than 2 years that I was driving that car, it never
Should we hook her up with her gear?
happened that it changes. And I didn't expect it at all to be something that I noticed that, okay, it's getting later at night and I should change it to that. So I expected it to be auto, and I was on Woodward, a lot of lights from the street lights from the other car, so it was not noticeable. The ticket was issued at 9:50 p.m. and it was some minutes before that I saw the police at my back, and I turned for I pulled over. So it was still lit up out there. Yes, by the time that I got the ticket and I got out of that place, it was dark. But before that, there was still light. And
seriously, we want to hear about the hall at the mall.
I don't think it would be any threat to any car around me, considering all the lights that were out there.
Does it not occur to you that the streetlights were on and all the other drivers around you, according to your testimony, had their headlights on? If everybody else had their headlights on and the streetlights have gone on, that would indicate, I think, fairly clearly that it was...
The judge is just incredulous. You see the problem with your defense, don't you? The fact that everyone had their lights on is a good indicator that it's time to turn your lights on.
Dark.
Yes, but it was not clear because there were a lot of other lights. It was not appearing.
That's my point.
There is. Yes,
that's my point, ma'am. All the other drivers around you turned on their headlights. They didn't turn them on for the heck of it. They turned them on because it was getting dark. You testified that all the other cars around you had their headlights on and the street lights were on. Therefore, you didn't notice that it had gotten darker.
Yes, so it was after sunset. That's what I'm saying. And it was going to get dark, but it was still not all the way dark.
The statute requires you to turn on your lights. You didn't. Is there a motion to amend, officer?
No, Your Honor, I'd like to keep it impeding.
Okay, I'm going to treat this as a lesser included and find the driver responsible.
He wanted to bang her with the points violation. And I don't blame him after listening to this.
And the officer is continuing to give you the break so you don't get points.
Yeah, he's cool.
If the ticket were to be amended to conform to your testimony, you'd be found responsible and get points. The fine is $175, but you knew that before. It can be paid at the counter in the courthouse. You can mail in a check or money order, or you can pay it online.
All right, I said this earlier on Biggin's stream, and I'm going to say it here. If Biggin doesn't get to 25 by the end of the week, I'm putting the whole chat over my knee. That's the way it is.
Have a good day. There's no points.
Thank you. You have a good day.
We will now be on the record in 2020 TR 551, State of Kansas versus Braxton Ross Broyles. Jared Regier for the state. Mr. Broyles appears in person and pro se.
See, you speak of Mr. Regier, and there he is.
Is your bondsman here? This was set for a motion for judgment on bond. Looks like you failed to appear. You pled not guilty September 14th.
The last case was Michigan, yes.
And well, this goes back to February 5th of 2021, Mr. Broyles. And
yes.
It looks like you were given a $1,500 cash or surety bond May 11th of 22. You told me on May 18th of 22 you were applying for diversion, but on July 12th, 2022, the county attorney's diversion coordinator said you had never done that. You came in the next day on the 13th, continued your not guilty plea, and continued to say you were applying for diversion, but you were told that was the last time that diversion would be offered by the county attorney. September 13th, the diversion coordinator said you'd never applied. So September 14th, you continued your not guilty plea and still asked for additional time for diversion. And it was continued, surprisingly again, to November 14th of 2022, but you failed to appear and you still hadn't applied for diversion. And you were issued a bench warrant with a no bond hold. You were next seen by the court, looks like Judge Satterfield, January 6th of 2023. And you were commenting that you'd still never heard back from the state regarding your diversion. Of course, they said you hadn't applied. So you told the court that you were going to retain an attorney.
Look how much
you were told.
Ma'am, I asked the judge.
He's just loving it.
Sorry.
Just a moment. The court directed you to retain counsel, but if you didn't have counsel by your next hearing, you are to inquire of Judge Webster. So you were seeing Judge Hart, and that you were to be at the Sally Port for all future hearings. And your bond was set at $1,000 cash or surety. So let's knock that out. You're not at the Sally Port, are you, Mr. Boyles?
No, I got a link on my email to do it on Zoom.
Okay. Well, in January, Judge Hart told you all future hearings had to be in person at the courthouse. And then March 20th, you failed to appear again after you'd seen Judge Hart. Your bond went up to $2,000 cash or surety.
Can we just toss them away?
And then you were picked up and saw, not sure which judge you saw, maybe me, July 7th. No, I should take that back. You weren't in court that day. You emailed asking if there was something you could do to take care of the case because you had the opportunity to move to Florida and that you kept trying to submit an appointment card explaining why you missed your very first court date, but it was not legible.
He decided to move up in his career and become Florida man.
And you were told that in order to resolve this case, you could call Lori at the sheriff's office, I believe that is. So we are here today on a motion for judgment on bond. You apparently got notice that your bond was going to be revoked today, and you somehow managed to get a link and show up even though you were by Zoom, even though you were told by Judge Hart to appear at the Sally Port for all future hearings. Would you agree with all that?
Ma'am, I was told the one that I sent the picture in for, I was told that I was supposed to appear in Sally Port for that one, and then it would be up to the discretion of you after that. I was told that in court.
Who told you that? Because that's not what Judge Hart's notes say.
It was the judge that I saw whenever I got picked up and then I had to rebond. That's what I was told, that it would be up to the discretion of you after that. And then I showed up, and it's very, very difficult for me to get out there.
Are you in Florida?
No, ma'am.
Where are you?
I live in Wichita. I have an opportunity to move to Florida.
I don't know the relative geography, but I mean, it's in Kansas, right? You know, and it's not like the edge. So it can't be too far.
To pursue an actual career other than working at restaurants and take care of help take care of my grandpa and grandma down there. So I honestly, ma'am, I was wondering if we can do any sort of just some kind of fines that I can pay so I can get through this, because I cannot leave the state with any legal obligations here.
Okay, Mr. Broyles, first of all, you have not seen a judge since you saw Judge Hart on January 6th of 2023.
Yes.
And his notes are very clear that you were told to appear at the Sally Port for all future hearings, and you didn't come back.
Who doesn't want to go hang out with the Sallyport boys? I want a speeding ticket just for the excuse.
Court after that, so you couldn't have seen me, and I couldn't have given you. Nobody could have given you discretion not to appear at Sallyport because you haven't seen a judge since then.
I attempted to come in.
You haven't seen a judge, though. That's the bottom line. You said the judge told you that there was discretion and all that, and that's just not possible, sir. And I'm not going to debate that. You should be here at the Sallyport per Judge Hart's orders. Secondly, this is a motion for judgment on bond, so there should be an active warrant out for your arrest that you need to surrender yourself to. Are you aware of that?
Yes, ma'am. I am now aware of that.
But you knew it before, too, didn't you?
By the way, I did not clickbait you. Planet Fitness is featured later in this video.
When you failed to appear the last time?
I attempted to appear. I was given the wrong date on the card, and I even sent 2 different photos in.
What date did your card say?
I believe it said the 22nd, ma'am.
Of what month?
Of, I don't have the card anymore. It was, I came in and they said, oh, my court date was supposed to be on the 20th. And then I went home and I took a picture of the card and sent it in, and they said they couldn't read it, but the picture I sent in, I could clearly see the day on there.
Well, apparently you didn't come to court the day that you said was on your card.
Because they said, oh, well, I don't have court that day. I apparently missed it. So when I apparently missed it and I sent them that in, I didn't get a response for a couple of days.
So you took yourself to court with an active warrant and nobody arrested you on it?
I walked into Sallyport, ma'am.
And
I walked into the courthouse.
And the deputies at the Sallyport just told you, oh, you missed your court, go on home?
No, I said on my card, it said the 22nd, and they told me to go get the card. And okay, I took a picture of it and sent it in.
They let you walk off with an active warrant.
Thank you,
Is
Colin.
that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, Mr. Regier, what do you want to do about the reason we're here today? And that's motion for judgment on bonds.
Well, Your Honor, if the defendant, I think the defendant may have referred to the possibility of Q wants to, if the court is finding that he has waived his right to counsel and the defendant wants to enter a plea, certainly I'm prepared to make any recommendations on that. As far as the motion for judgment on bond is concerned, I think the state would move to withdraw that at this point. However, in review of the file, it looks like when the defendant failed to appear at the March 20th hearing, the court had entered certain orders regarding a bond. I think the court has already heard to that to some extent. I'm not showing any more recent appearance bonds since the bond that had the appearance of the March 20 date.
So are you moving to set aside the warrant as well?
Well, Your Honor, the court has already ordered that warrant, so far from me to make any motions along that point. At this point, the state would only move to withdraw the motion for judgment on bond.
So you're basically suggesting.
Point, Your Honor, I would probably respectfully defer to the court on that. At this point, the state's only motion is to withdraw the motion for judgment on bond. Filed with the court.
Okay, I think I understand what you're saying. Mr. Broyles, what do you plan to do to resolve this matter?
They have so many other reasons, but they've never cited that one.
Are you still wanting an attorney? Are you still going to hire an attorney?
I asked for a court appointed with, it wasn't with you, ma'am. It was with the other judge. I cannot remember his name.
Judge Hart?
Yeah,
Judge
I asked
Sanders.
for court
It's like you
appointed,
had
and he
Judge
said
Sanders. I said Hart a while ago. It was Sanders. Okay.
he said that would be up to you for a court appointed attorney because I cannot afford one. So if I could get files to file for a court appointed attorney, then I would love to do that. But like I said earlier, if I can just be charged with if I could just pay a certain amount of fines and just get this all taken care of just so I can move on to the next chapter of my life, pretty much. That's really all I'm trying to do.
Judge, he's just trying to get to the Florida Man chapter. Why do you keep getting in his way?
I got this ticket when I was 17 years old. I'm 21 now. That's almost 4 years. I'm almost 22. I want to get all my legal obligations dealt with so I can proceed to move down to Florida and pursue a better career. And so that's why I'm asking for like maybe some kind of fines or something like that, something that I could pay off.
Well, I can't tell you what your sentence would be. We need to kind of approach this in a systematic manner. The first issue is, do you want an attorney or do you not? And can you afford an attorney? If you cannot, do you want?
Okay, right now, Regier can interject and say the state will offer something if he just pays this fine and we'll be done with it. And that would probably resolve it. He knows it, but he doesn't care. He likes to watch the guy squirm.
Apply for an attorney, or do you want to waive your right to counsel and represent yourself?
I'd like to apply for a court-appointed attorney, please.
All right. And are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you work?
Bourbon Street. It's a bar and grill.
Is that in Wichita?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you working full-time? 40 hours a week?
I'm attempting to.
Are they giving you 40 hours a week at least?
No, ma'am. I can only get around 35, and that's what's stretching it.
Okay. And then what do they pay you per month?
I get paid hourly. I get paid $12 an hour.
But what's your monthly pay?
$1,200, something like that.
And then do you get tips on top of that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. And do you pay any kind of rent or mortgage?
Yes, I pay rent and taxes on my house.
All right. So you own your home?
I own the trailer, but I rent a lot.
I see. And are you married or single?
Single, ma'am.
Okay. I will appoint.
I see. You had me at trailer. That's what she was thinking, but she didn't say.
Attorney Darren Patterson. Can you write down his name? You got a pencil and paper?
Let me go to my notes real quick.
Okay. Everyone always have pencil and paper ready when your name is called in court?
All right. You said Gary Patterson?
No, Darren, D-A-R-R-E-N, Patterson.
Oh, sir, you're perfect for the Darren Patterson plan.
His number is 316-322-77.
You know, Darren Patterson's lobby is just the Island of Misfit toys. It's an absolute circus in there.
00. Please call his office and give him your contact information as soon as you leave this hearing. And your next court date will be Monday, October 16th at 9. Ashley, that is, or Savannah, that is Monday, isn't it, the 16th?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So tell Mr. Patterson your court date is October 16th, and I'm going to have you come at 8 instead of 9, Mr. Broyles.
Okay.
Now then, you've got your attorney, you've got your court date. And state has set aside its motion for judgment on bond. So it looks like that will reinstate your $1,000 cash or surety. If you can make sure your bondsman will be continued on that, and that will withdraw your warrant that is active for your failure to appear. But Mr. Broyles, don't leave the state of Kansas until you get this resolved.
Yes, ma'am. That's the whole plan.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Mr. Broyles, that we need to?
And with that, we'll leave the afternoon alone. Come back to the night. We'll have some more from good old Mike. Until then, thanks for watching from day one. Have a great afternoon.